Paulo Fonseca, known for his innovative attacking brand of football, is set to take over AC Milan as their head coach. With experience in top European leagues, Fonseca is expected to bring a fresh approach to the Rossoneri, aiming to bridge the gap with their rivals Inter Milan. His appointment signals a new era for the club, where tactical flexibility, high pressing, and fluid attacking play will be central to their game plan. Fonseca's preferred formation has always been the 4-2-3-1 shape. This provides fluidity and of course can morph into a 3-2-5 system. This shape and system allows for a lot of off-the-ball movements and a lot of rotations to occur, forcing the wider players into those more central zones, creating overloads and vacating those wider spaces for other players to go ahead and exploit. The fullbacks will be very crucial in Fonseca's build-up with AC Milan, looking to exploit the wider spaces with them, and of course it will be an alternating factor, allowing the one fullback to bomb forward and the other to stay back and create that back three system. But this will also allow for the wingers to attack the half spaces and be very involved in the central attacking areas of the field. In turn, this will create dynamic attacking patterns of play. Onto Fonseca's tactics, and the tactical vision that best suits how he wants his sides to play will be the wing play approach. This is executed by either the fullback or the winger attacking the wider channel, looking to create fluid offensive movements from those wide spaces. This approach looks to manipulate the opposition's defense by drawing them into the wider spaces whilst executing offensive movements in the central zones and allowing them to attack those spaces. When looking to defend, Fonseca's sides often take up the press after possession loss approach. This aggressive pressing strategy will help the likes of AC Milan regain possession high up the field. As stated for the previous Lille tactics under Fonseca, his side will often look to take up a 4-2-4 shape, looking to try and clog the passing lanes and prevent passes into the central zones, allowing them to press effectively on all fronts, looking to break up the offensive play from the opposition. The aim of this defensive approach is to force the opposition into those long balls, allowing for the centre-backs to deal with the aerial threats, win the ball back, and circulate the ball back into the likes of AC Milan or Lille's possession. The team's defensive width will be set to 70. Now, this will allow the team to press high as well as wide, covering those passing lanes, making sure that they are able to intercept and break up the play, more or less preventing the opposition from being able to effectively play out from the back. As for the depth of the side, it will be set to 80, which is a high line, and this can allow for good, swift offensive maneuvers to occur, whilst also retaining and maintaining a lot of the pressure on the opposition with that high line press that you will look to implement with the side. Paulo Fonseca's offensive outlets is very adaptable, and therefore the builder play will be set to balanced. This can allow this AC Milan side to transition the ball very quickly through the lines, looking to transition with pace, or they could look to build up from the back very slowly, looking to effectively play through the thirds with a lot of ball movement, ball retention, a lot of rotations occurring in the midfield zones. We have seen in the past that Fonseca likes his side overloading and overworking the opposition's back line, looking to have aggressive runs from his strikers into the final third. At the same time, it will also encourage the fact that one of your attacking fullbacks will be able to venture further forward into that wider space, facilitating chance creations with obviously crosses or cutbacks, whilst also allowing the double pivots to venture further forward, either creating rotations in the midfield or alternatively creating shot opportunities for themselves from outside the attacking area. The offensive width will be set to 80. Now, this will effectively stretch the opposition's backline and create a lot of gaps and spaces between the defenders for your attackers to make those aggressive runs into the final third. As for the players in the box, it will be set to 3, allowing for at least 3 attackers to be in and around that attacking zone at all times, waiting for the crosses or the cutbacks. It will also help the side maintain pressure on the opposition by having a few players on the edge of the area, either looking to rotate the play or again facilitate more offensive opportunities. And then finally, as for the corners and the free kicks, as for always, it will be set to 4. Advancing on now to the individual play instructions, starting off at the back with the goalkeeper, and in this case it will be Mike Mignon, who will be set to come for crosses as well as be a sweeper keeper. With this high line approach, you will look for your keeper to sweep up just in behind your back line, looking to help break up the potential offensive plays that the opposition might look to launch, whilst also looking to be very involved in the builder play whilst playing under pressure from the opposition. Now onto the roles of Malik Tior as well as Tomori, and they'll both be set to conservative interceptions, looking to maintain the structural integrity of this defensive back line. They will be tasked with allowing themselves to collect the ball from the goalkeeper and venture further forward, or potentially go ahead and play those line-breaking passes. A few players to consider for this role is Diego Carlos, Lacroix, as well as Hermoso. The role of the fullback under Fonseca will be very interesting to see with this current AC Milan side, with these particular players in mind. Of course, Calabria, seen as more of an attacking fullback, but we have seen with Fonseca, in the past at least, that he does like one of his fullbacks staying back whilst the other does go forward. So I have selected Calabria for this more defensive approach, allowing him to stay back, have aggressive interceptions, invert, and of course get nice and close to the likes of Malik Tior, and then step up. For the role of Theo Hernandez, he will be a bit more of the aggressor, a bit more of the attacking player, looking to combine very nicely and very frequently in those wider spaces with the likes of Rafael Leao. He will be set to join the attack, have aggressive interceptions, overlap, and then of course step up. Now, it is just like a bit of speculation that I do think that both Hernandez and Calabria can coexist in the system and have them alternating between the various different roles, depending on what the likes of Fonseca and the game plan might be on the day, looking to either overload down the left-hand side, which the Hernandez and Leao can do, or if the game plan is to overload on the right-hand side, of course, the role of Pulisic and Calabria can also do this very effectively. A few players to consider for the role could be Santos, Cancelo, or Emerson Royale. The role of the double pivots, set to break up the play, look to drive the ball forward, create offensive overloads occasionally, whilst also looking to just be a good rotational piece in the central zones. So both the likes of Benacer as well as Reinders will be set to the same roles and instructions. Cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking. You want them to shield that back line more times than not if they haven't made that offensive run further forward. Normal interceptions will be a thing, as well as stick to position and then cover the wider areas. 3 players to consider for the position is Emil Højbjerg, Amrabat, or Sidibe. Now onto the role of the number 10. Now at Lille, the likes of Angel Gomez had a very different role to what we will see Ruben Loftus-Cheek take up with this system. Often Gomez would look to drop between the lines, facilitate offensive maneuvers, look to drift all over the place, and just be a passing option anywhere and everywhere he could possibly, fit into that space. Whereas Ruben Loftus-Cheek will have a bit more of a structured attacking approach to it. So he will look to come back on defense, helping support the defense, whilst also looking to drop between the lines and link the play between the midfield and the attack. But we will see a bit more of an offensive outlet in the box, looking for him to sometimes occasionally make that offensive run into the final third, getting on the end of those crosses and those cutbacks, whilst also not really drifting all over the place or popping up in the half spaces. He will look to maintain his position in that number 10 role, whereas the likes of Rafael Leao will look to drift inside and facilitate in those half space areas. And then finally, you want him to have aggressive interceptions, pairing up with that striker, looking to press the opposition's backline and be very assertive with their aggressive counter-pressing system. And speaking of the likes of Rafael Leao, he will also have a slightly differing role. He'll be set to having a basic defensive support. We do know that Leao doesn't always come back on defense. He can be an outlet ball in certain moments, and I do think that under Fonseca, it will more or less be the same. We'll also see him have a balance with allowing him to drift more centrally at times, or alternatively stay wider and combine very effectively with the fullback. But when he does drift inside, he will vacate that wider space for the fullback to go ahead and attack. But the main thing is he will also often look to come short, facilitating in those, half space channels, looking to create offensive maneuvers and effectively allowing the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek to maintain his more natural central position. We'll also see here that he will be set to aggressive interceptions whilst maintaining a balanced crossing run. 2 players to consider for this position is Federico Chiesa as well as Somerville. For the role of your right midfielder in Pulisic, he will maintain a lot of the width down at the right-hand side, looking to also help back on defense as much as possible, especially with the fact that the right back will be set to stay back while attacking. He won't have a lot of support in those wider spaces. So you do want him, dropping back, supporting the defense as much as possible, whilst also maintaining that wide right space. Getting him behind will be absolutely essential to the success of the side, looking to make those penetrating runs into the backline area and looking to exploit them with the potential hard lines that you will come up against. And then finally, you want him to have aggressive interceptions whilst also, just like with the left-hand side, being able to maintain a balanced crossing run. Now, onto the role of the number 9. Now, Fonseca does want his striker being very involved in the build-up play, whether that's in the midfield zones or wider, looking to overload in those wider channels. So he will be set to drift wide as well as plays a false 9. You want him dropping a bit deeper, facilitating good offensive maneuvers, looking to combine very efficiently and effectively with the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Rafael Leao, or even Christian Pulisic. And then, of course, you want him aggressively pressing that backline region, whilst also looking to come back on defense and looking to drop back into that more defensive shape if needed. 3 players to consider for this role could be Silva, Jimenez, and Xerxes. As Fonseca's sides tend to gain momentum in games, they tend to take up a 3-2-5 system. Now, the same thing would happen with this AC Milan side, looking to overload in the wider areas while still maintaining a potent attacking threat in the central zones. Now, there will be a few tweaks to the tactics, starting off with the team's width being set to 80 and, of course, the depth of the side being set to 85, looking to apply more pressure to the opposition. And then the final thing that will change will be the players in the box being set to 8, looking to effectively overload the opposition in the final third. Taking a look at the player instructions that will have changed with the formation switch up, and that is the likes of Calabria, who has now shifted from that right back role to that third centre back option. Now he will be set to stay back while attacking while still maintaining aggressive interceptions and of course the ability to step up. What he will effectively do is add a bit more recovery pace to the backline, which is already filled with a lot of recovery pace in the likes of Tomori as well as Tio, but he will effectively look to fill that void down that right hand side. For the left midfielder, and that is Theo Hernandez in this more aggressive, assertive attacking role, he'll be set to come back on defense, staying wide, looking to hug the touchlines as much as possible, whilst also looking to position himself with those aggressive runs in behind for the potential over the top through balls. And then again, you want him to be very aggressive in those wider channels, whilst also occasionally making those runs into the more central zones, attacking the potential crosses or cutbacks at the back post area. Now moving more centrally into your effective attacking front three, and the likes of Rafael Leao will have a somewhat similar role, of course, now being played as a left forward, but he will look to drift wide every now and then, looking to combine again very effectively with the likes of Theo Hernandez down that left-hand channel. The attacking runs will be set to mix, allowing him to either incorporate the target player approach, looking to use his physicality to the team's advantage, or looking to sometimes break in behind, or even adapt himself and play as a false nine. We do see him look to aggressively assert himself in the game, and I do think that that is something that Fonseca will expect from Rafael Leao, especially when out of possession of the ball in that first, effective line of press. He'll look to aggressively press the opposition's backline area, whilst also maintaining the basic defensive support. For the instructions of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you do want to more or less take up that more natural number 10 role. So in order to effectively go ahead and replicate that, he'll be set to stay central, play as a false nine, have aggressive interceptions, and come back on defense. This will allow him to drop between the lines, facilitate and link up the play quite nicely with the deeper lying midfielders, as well as the more aggressive attackers. And there you go, people. That is how I would implement and replicate Paulo Fonseca's tactics into the current AC Milan side. Of course, as always, if you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to smash that like button down below, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. We are about to hop on into the gameplay, where we will discuss the tactics in further detail. Okay, people, kicking off with the gameplay up against Inter Milan. I do think, by the way, that Fonseca's side and his tactics could match up very, very well with what Inter Milan do on a regular basis. Of course, that back three system that morphs into a back five system in defense, and just making sure that they are being very good on all phases of play. And I do think that that is more or less what Fonseca will look to do with this AC Milan side. Some good combination play down the left channel, and across the face of goal, the likes of Theo Hernandez wins the ball back very nicely, pushing up nice and high. Benetzer from distance into the hands of Jan Sommer. Not too bad, not too shabby. Some good combination play down that left space. And we've won the ball back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek holding up the play quite nicely. Back into the double pivot. Back into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who does make a good pass over the top into Rafael Leao. Chips it over the top. Oh my goodness me, supplying the striker, who, yes, is playing as a false nine, who, yes, does drift wide, but he will also be very involved in the central areas of the field. And of course, Okafor does more or less match up with what Fonseca expects from, his more natural number 9 striker. Of course, you saw with Jonathan David, he would also have this very similar drifting ability to drift all over the place, use his speed in behind, link up the play very well. And Okafor does match up with that. So that's why I went with him over the likes of Olivier Giroud or Jovic. And of course, even with the players that they are linked with in real life, a Joshua Zirkzee, a Jonathan David, certain players like that, they all have very similar roles and characteristics that do suit a Paulo Fonseca side. So it will be very interesting to see. I would absolutely love it if AC Milan went and signed Joshua Zirkzee for like, what's it like, the 34 million release clause or whatever. Absolutely love it, because I think he would be so good for this side. And AC Milan 1-0 to the good. We haven't really shifted into that more aggressive attacking formation just yet, but we will do so in due course. We're just trying to establish ourselves a bit more in the game, looking just to rotate the play. Of course, Fonseca's side, very well known for good possession football, making sure that things are stable, nice pragmatic approach with the defensive play. And as you'll see here, look at that, the striker dropping nice and deep into the midfield zones, looking to link up the play, and just allow Ruben Loftus-Cheek to almost take up a secondary striker role himself. Some good play down at the wider right channel. Some good combination play yet again. Pulisic making that penetrating backline run. squares it more centrally, and there you go. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, 20 minutes in, we will be looking to revert more or less into that more natural 3-2-5 system and shape. Now that we have established ourselves in the game, established a rhythm and a style of play, and Inter Milan cannot cope with the sheer amount of movement simply from the number 9, allowing the number 10 to just take up those more central spaces. And they can't pick up the runners, they can't pick up the man, and we are absolutely putting them to the sword tenfold. You love to see it. Okay, now we're going to look to win the ball back and then look to be a bit more expansive with our offensive game plan and outlets. And immediately, the likes of DeMarco attacking down the right-hand space. Our right-hand space, their left-hand space. Good ball into the box, and it's dealt with quite nicely from the more aggressive physical centre-back. We have shifted now effectively into the 5 front system. Oh, I was looking for that ball over the top. And we have been exploited here. I was looking for the ball over the top with the likes of Benetzer over the top to Theo Hernandez, and that is not a good look because we've literally just reverted into this more offensive system and shape, and now we've conceded. We lost the ball in a very dangerous area. Try not to do that. That does not lead to good things. Tried to cover it. Wasn't good enough. And it ends up with a Mkhitaryan goal in the back of the net. Interesting, very interesting. But we will look to re-establish ourselves in the game. We are still playing in that 3-2-5 system. Good ball. Just calm and composed. Calm and composed. Playing certain players between the lines here and losing the ball. Anyways, we move. We look. They'll look to break on us with decisive runs in behind from their more aggressive attackers. But we'll look to counter that by just shielding that area, looking to press in the central zones, making sure that we are plugging the gaps in the spaces, and also somewhat inviting the pressure, allowing for the likes of Theo Hernandez to be a good offensive outlet at some points. Good defensive action from Theo Hernandez, speaking of. And he'll look to lay it into the likes of Rafael Leao. We'll look to build. Out wide now. Good play. Good hold-up play. Some very good hold-up play, in fact. That ball was on for that decisive pass down the middle, but I wasn't quick enough to react to it. Good first-time pass. Centrally, oh my goodness me. It was looking like a great cutback opportunity. And Benetzer does win a throw-in at least. We're going back here to Benetzer, just looking to rotate the play. Rafael Leao this time, almost playing his man into some trouble. But it's fine, it's okay. Back into Tomori. Tomori looking to just drive further forward, create overloads into the role of Leao, who does play a great ball over the top. It is dealt with by the Inter Milan backline, and that should be halftime. We have done fairly well. It does suck a little bit that as soon as I changed into the more offensive system, we lost the ball. We turned it over in a very bad place, and it led to a Mkhitaryan goal. But we are still winning, and we have been dominating the proceedings exactly how Paulo Fonseca would want his side to do. Anyways, as you'll see here at the break, maintaining 71% possession. We have absolutely put Inter Milan to the sword in terms of the way we've been able to move the ball, keep possession, maintain a lot of control over the proceedings. 3 shots to their 2. It's resulted in 2 goals to their 1. Expected goals of 0.6 to our 2.2. 78 passes to their 22. Almost 4 times their passes. They have been a bit more active on the defensive end of things. We've only made 2 tackles. They've had to make 5. And they've made 5 interceptions and we've only made 2. We've maintained a pass accuracy slightly better than theirs of 94%. They've maintained a pass accuracy of 86%. And that does help with the aggressive pressing and the amount of stress and pressure that we are putting on the ball carrier for Inter Milan. Shot accuracy is at 100 for their 50. And then, of course, the dribble accuracy and success rate is at 97%, which is not too bad if you ask me. So just taking a look at a lot of our possession, and a lot of it has been maintained in the central areas, looking to just force ourselves higher up the field into the more offensive areas as well, playing on the edge of their box, looking to rotate the play, as well as also the likes of Tomori has been very involved in the build-up play, whereas a lot of their possession has been centrally and it has been broken up very effectively, and also down the left-hand channel, I suppose, with DeMarco looking to carry the ball very effectively further forward, and he has gotten, I think it was 1 or 2 runs in those more attacking areas, but we have been able to deal with the threat very well. And then just taking a look at the passes as our last segment of the half-time analysis, And a lot of passes being exchanged between 11 and 2, which is great. You want to see that good supply line down that right-hand side, especially when we do revert back into the more natural back 4 system. Number 8 and number 10 need to be a bit more involved in the final phases of play. We have seen a lot of passes being exchanged between 19 and 10, and of course 4 and 19. So that left-hand side is, exchanging and interchanging quite a bit, which you do want to see. But again, we do need to see a bit more output in that final third, as well as from the goalkeeper. I've just realized Mike Mignon has not really touched the ball, so he will be very involved in the build of play, and we'll look to more or less draw the likes of Inter Milan onto us, and then look to play through their aggressive press. Okay, kicking things off here in the second half, we are going to revert back into that 4-2-3-1 system and shape, just to kick things off in the second half, establish ourselves, or re-establish ourselves, I should say, and formulate those good patterns of play yet again. Just setting up with a nice double pivot at the base, looking just to shield that backline area. Tomori playing it back to the likes of Mignon, who will play it back into Tomori. He's got a great path to Benetzer, lays it off into Leao, who hasn't been that involved in the attacking play, I must say. But we've got the likes of Okafor. Okafor, he's driving with the ball. Was that not a foul, referee? Okay, they've called my slide tackle for the foul, which is obviously not great. And Malik Thiaw has been poorly positioned there by yours truly, and they are looking to attack us with some space. Thiaw again, bad positioning, and it's a... Okay, I thought they scored. I'm not going to lie. I thought Çalhanoğlu put the ball in the back of the net. It's a great save from the goalkeeper. Not too bad, not too shabby, and we've dealt with it very effectively. Get there, please! Oh my goodness me, it's another great save from the keeper, and that is why Mike Mignon is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I have been reading, though, that he is unhappy with the contract situation, and he's looking for more money, and oh my god, and AC Milan don't really want to pay him that money, so he could be on the move. Where does he go to? It will be very, very interesting to see what happens with that situation, because I do know that AC Milan are also linked with other goalkeepers, the likes of Bolka from Nice. Good defensive actions there from the right back. So yeah, I know they are, and also Edison from Man City. Let's not forget, Edison from Man City is a great option. Apparently, he's not overly happy with his role at City currently. So imagine that, hey? Imagine that. Good play out wide. Rafael Leao looking to combine quite nicely with the attacking fullback, who squares it yet again, and it's a great save from Jan Sommer. Another shot on target. Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the more attacking zones. It's exactly where you want to have him. And yet again, oh, almost. Tomori just circulating the play back out to Reinders. Back post possibly, and it's into the gloves of the goalkeeper. The second half has been all about the goalkeepers, but we are going to ramp up the offensive pressure now. Looking to just, display ourselves a bit better here. Good ball. Solid ball. Look at that ball over the top. Possibly. It is a beautiful ball. It's across the face of goal. The AC Milan are pressurizing Inter Milan right there and then. Although they have played out quite nicely. Controlled composure. Lots of pressing. Look at that great... That's a handball. It should be a handball, but it's fine. It's not gonna be, but we've won the aerial duel. We have won the aerial duel. Just, come on, boys. Contain the pressure. Rotate the play. Rafael Leao this time into the likes of Pulisic, who lays it back off into the midfield zone. I do like the rotations. We are just trying to pull them open just a little bit here. Great ball over the top. A bit wayward with the pass, but it was there. We had overloaded on the one side, leaving Pulisic very much open in the space to go ahead and exploit. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get the best pass to him. Good ball back into Pulisic. Oh my god. Terrible breakdown of the offensive play. But we are maintaining some good pressure on the edge of the area. But a few offensive breakdowns. But again, if you are looking to just control the phases of play, this is the exact system that you would be looking for. High pressurized offensive outlets. Benetzer looking to come a bit more central, looking to break up the play. And it's a great goal from Inter Milan. It's 2-2. Oh my goodness me. 5 minutes to go. Look, that goal I can deal with. The first goal that they scored, though, I can't deal with because it's a mistake. It's a bit of, bad timing on my part by switching to the more offensive system. And it hasn't really led to too much, good defensive outlets. But we've got 5 minutes to go ahead and secure ourselves a fantastic victory down the left-hand channel. We're just going to circulate the play here, make sure that we can get more offensive bodies forward. Good line-breaking pass into the likes of Okafor back into Okafor. And Okafor loses the ball. Lovely. There we go. That's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. Good ball. Good ball over the top here. We have got what we've got no more minutes. We have got no more minutes. Looking to rotate the play. Wins the ball back. Reinders. And we've lost the ball. We've won it back. We have won it back. It's the final countdown. Oh my god, we've lost possession, and that will be a 2-2 draw. Obviously not the result that you would have wanted, but in terms of like the outlet of the instructions and how the players are playing, of course, the 2 goals that we conceded were very avoidable. Maybe some better defensive outlet from me, but in terms of like the actual way the tactics displayed, I'm very impressed with them, and I hope you guys are too. So let me know down below. Just taking a look at, you know, the full-time stats. Of course, they did, you know, get back into the game. They started, you know, pressing a bit higher. They started winning the ball back as well. 64% possession to their 36. We still, you know, dominated the play, but it wasn't, you know, as effective as what it was in the first half. Almost triple their passes, which is fantastic. They scored 2 goals from their expected goals of 1, and we scored 2 goals from our expected goals of 2.8. So, you know, it's a give and take situation, but you will be creating a lot of offensive opportunities, and on a different day, it would be a better result for AC Milan. So yes, you guys can let me know down below. Do you like the system? Do you like the tactics? Do you like Paulo Fonseca? Especially if you are an AC Milan fan. Are you appreciative of the appointments? Would you have wanted Antonio Conte? I know a few of you guys have said in the past, you know, you would rather have a Conte or a Roberto De Zerbi. I do think that Paulo Fonseca will be a great success. He will help you build to the next level. He will help you bridge that gap that is between, you know, Inter and AC Milan at the moment. Will he be able to be the guy who's there at the end lifting the Scudetto? I don't know, but I do think he is a fantastic appointment, a great building block into like the club's success and the direction that the club are going in. So even if he is the guy before the guy, he will still help you, you know, achieve that next step. So anyways, I will see you guys with the next one tomorrow. It is a Throwback Thursday, so enjoy that. Enjoy the video. Mad love, mad respect for getting this far in the video. I'm waffling now, so I'm going to go. You guys have a damn great day, and I'm out of here.